Hi, I'm Melissa, and I have Crohn's disease. I've had Crohn's time. I believe I was wearing a size 14. Um, was kind of overweight at that time, but I don't remember. It's kind of hard to remember because it's been over 10 years ago. But basically, I'm making this video just to maybe help anybody who is struggling like I was. And I'm sorry I didn't make it sooner, really. But I just wanted to say that if you've got Crohn's disease, if you've been diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and you are not the typical skinny mini person that looks bare bones, bones sticking out, like, that can be completely normal because there are people like me who actually gained weight having Crohn's disease. Um, because I was given steroids. I was 26 when I was diagnosed. It was 2006, excuse me. And I knew next to nothing about it at the time. But the steroids made me gain weight. I wasn't one of those people who food bothered me, or so I thought. But really, I was dealing with struggling, excuse me, with symptoms every day. Um, I remember there were points where I couldn't get off the couch. I was in so much pain. Um, I struggled to do anything normal. While people were going out, having babies and raising their families and things, I was and let you know that if you're one of these people diagnosed, you're not alone. Because I was fat with Crohn's disease, I'm a healthy weight now. Well, not healthy weight yet, but I've done something that has helped me and has lowered my symptoms to where every day I'm not struggling with symptoms. I do have my bad days. If you've got Crohn's disease, you're gonna have good days. You're gonna have bad days. Unfortunately, it's not the perfect solution for everything. I wish it was. I hope that one day there will be a cure to this awful, embarrassing disease. But right now, we don't have a cure, but we do have more and more research has come out, and something that's not talked about, which really upsets me, is how diet can play a huge role in Crohn's disease. When I was first diagnosed, I was told that I should eat a new food every week, and then I gave time to see if my body could handle it or not. And I thought symptoms were so bad. I was living on some form of a potato. It might have been mashed potato, it could have been instant potato, it could have been a baked potato, white potato. I was living on that in broth because I was afraid anything else would upset my stomach. I would have diarrhea. I would have painful cramping, just awful cramping. Even eating that, I just thought, hey, this is my life, and I hadn't lost any weight at all. In fact, I kept gaining weight. Whether I was on steroids or not on steroids, I didn't gain weight. I mean, I didn't lose any weight. I kept gaining weight. I weighed so much that I was ashamed to get on the scale. I think I was over 260 pounds because that was the last time I weighed. I was too embarrassed to weigh after that. When you get that when you get overweight like that and you have something and you're in miserable pain, eh, you may not be like me, but I got so depressed, so much anxiety about it that I I couldn't handle it. I didn't handle it. I just didn't weigh. And I avoided going out and doing a lot of things. One of my really good friends got married and wasn't in their wedding, and then later on when I saw the pictures, 'cause I did get in a picture, I was glad that I hadn't been asked to be in the wedding because I was enormous and I looked awful. And at the time, I thought, hey, I look good. I looked at the pictures. No, I'm swollen. My face is all swollen. I don't have any pictures I can show you because I was embarrassed. I didn't print off any. I didn't keep any. Um, there are some on my Facebook, and so if anybody wants to see a before and after, please let me know. So right now, this very moment, I weigh 183 pounds. I was a lot thinner, but I had been messing around with my diet and had gained some weight. Um, I wasn't watching things easily. Also, I'm a stress eater, but I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better than I ever have. I do have still have my good days and my bad days. It's something that unfortunately it looks like I'll have to do the rest of my life is manage my diet because for me, medicine doesn't seem to work. Um, I was scared to take Humira and Remicade. I was one of those people that then was taking prednisone, which is a steroid pill. I was taking it and then tapered off, and then I was taking Indicort. Well, you can't stay on Indicort forever, so eventually I had to come off of it. And really, the next medicine they wanted me to be on, and I forgot what it was called, but it was known to cause several, like three different kinds of cancer. Like it could cause it, or it could be a placebo and not like do anything. Like it could help your Crohn's or it could not. And to me, I didn't want to risk getting cancer for something that might not help my Crohn's. And I had been on this diet and I'd lost weight and I was feeling good. I was just really going to the gastroenterologist to get a clean check to say, "Hey, you're doing great. We're glad to see you." But my gastroenterologist had changed my fight. They didn't know me from anybody. And when I told them that my diet had really helped me, they didn't believe me. They said, "Oh, really?" Well, when they did the scope, I had a colonoscopy and I had an endoscopy. A colonoscopy, of course, up the rectum. They looked at both, and I have had a double resectioning where they took out the diseased part of my small intestine and the diseased part of my large intestine. They put the good parts of my small back together with staples, and they put the good parts of my large intestine back in together with staples. So, that was done in 2013. In 2013, I wasn't on a diet or anything. I didn't know anything about it. In fact, I had gone in there because I was having, I had, I was wanting to get pregnant and nothing was happening. So I had gone to a fertility clinic. And when I went there, um, they saw that on ultrasound, one of my ovaries was huge. It looked like a black hole. It was huge. It was the size of a grapefruit. It looked like a big black hole on the monitor. And so they said, "Oh, well, you'll have to get that taken out before you could do in vitro." And it was determined that that's what I would need would be in vitro because my Crohn's blockage. I'm not sure how that ended up happening. I don't know if it had something to do with the with my ovaries. Um, that one getting the big, they called it a tumor, but it wasn't cancer at all. So anyway, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure on that, to be honest with you. But what the Crohn's did do is I have had an abscess. I should go back and start when I was diagnosed in 2006. Um, I had been having pain and abnormal bleeding during period, and I didn't realize. Um, well, I knew there was something wrong because I'd never had any problem. And I went to the doctor, and the doctor thought it was crazy, thought I had anxiety, and put me on anti-anxiety medication instead of really doing anything. I was really upset because I could tell something was wrong because when I would eat, I ate yogurt, I ate Activia, and I immediately threw it up. I immediately got sick. It hurt my stomach. It was awful. And then I would eat like broccoli cheese soup. That was very processed. I had gotten it from Quiznos, and I had really painful cramping and things like that. So I went back to the doctor, and the doctor said again, "Oh, it's just anxiety." I said, "No, if it's anxiety, why are my periods messed up? Why am I having this? Why am I having that?" So the doctor kind of challenged me and said, "Well, we're going to do ultrasound then." Like I was making it up. Well, we did the ultrasound, and that's when they found a lot of fluid around my abdominal cavity. Then I had a surgery. It was a laparoscopy through my belly button. They went and looked, and they saw my intestines from the outside. Said it's classic Crohn's. At that time, there wasn't much known about Crohn's. I had no idea what it was. I had never heard of it before. So, um, wow, yeah, here I have this thing and I don't know much about it. And it's been kind of trial and error because everybody's different. So, this information about my diet may not help you, but it's more information. And the more information you know, the more you can figure out what works for you. Or maybe you have a loved one that's struggling with this horrible disease and you're just trying to get an understanding about it. It could be anything like that, I guess. Just want to put the information out there to kind of help people because I was lost for a long time. Um, and like I said, I had that resectioning. They took out my one ovary and they took my fallopian tubes out. That there'd be problems down the road when they had the reason they had to take out my intestines is because I had fistulas where the Crohn's had attached itself to different parts of my small and large intestine. And the doctor told me that had I not been in there for that surgery, that I would have had an emergency surgery later on. So it was a blessing that I was in there, but that was back in 2013. And I got to be healthy for like a month while my body was healing from the surgery. I didn't have any symptoms of Crohn's during that time because my body was healing because Crohn's disease is an autoimmune disorder. And my immune system basically was bored. It had nothing else to do, so it just attacks me, basically. And so, since I had that surgery, yay, it had something to do. It could heal. Um, but I went about it. They were not supportive about it. They thought I was making it up to get out of work. Some days I couldn't even get out of bed. I was in so much pain. I wasn't making it up. I was in so much pain, and no one understood how bad it felt. I could drive the car in one little bump, and the steroids, they could calm my Crohn's down to keep me from being in the hospital, but there was side effects, sweating, the night sweats and all that, crankiness and all that, and you can't stay on steroids forever. Um, and what worked for some, didn't work for me. And I didn't feel that my Crohn's was. I didn't feel like the Humira or the Remicade. I don't know why, but I didn't feel like it would work for me. And I know plenty of people that it worked for, but their Crohn's was worse than mine. Mine has almost in complete remission, like on its own. It's not doing anything. It's just like laying in wait, basically. And then sometimes, then it'll get all out of whack. So you could definitely have something different. I am not a medical expert. I do have a degree in health, um, but different things. I was pre-nursing, so and now I take care of people, and it's just such a blessing because I wasn't able to take care of hardly anyone, not even myself, when I first got diagnosed with Crohn's, and it's only been because of this diet and the grace of God that I've gotten to where I'm not having these symptoms that I'm struggling with constantly. Um, when a bad day for me is just I'll get up, I'll feel really fatigued. I might have some pain, stiffness somewhere. Push myself to do it, and it's easy to do that pushing when you're taking care of someone that rely on you. So that's a good thing that I'm having now. But going back to what I'm started on, there's something called an autoimmune protocol diet. You don't eat nightshades. Nightshades are things like tomatoes, white potatoes, um, eggplant. There's no grains, there's no starch, and it's basically like a low carb deal. So there's the autoimmune diet, and that might work great for you. But I love tomatoes, and I had no trouble with them. Because basically, what helped me was this video that was on YouTube that I will try to link in the about so you can watch this video about how no sugar or no added sugar, and it wasn't specifically named of any kind, really, just no white potatoes and no grains, no corn, things that turn into sugar, basically. Basically, nothing that turns into sugar. because the sugar is feeding things in your gut that naturally are there. Well, for the Crohn's, the symptoms come from that bacteria in your gut thriving on it. So when you don't eat these things, you starve that and the symptoms go away. For me, that's exactly what happened. Now for you, it might not, but it did for me. And I'm just sharing this in case maybe, it does help somebody. Um, so I'll link that video and you can watch it, and it's a lot better done. Got your scientific facts and all that kind of thing. But um, it's it made me see the light that nutrition was everything. And so I went about 2.5 years now that I've been on this diet, and it's hard to do sometimes where you're trying to find something that's not doesn't have flour, doesn't have grain in it, or because you're doing because of that, you're doing a lot of cooking. So it's sometimes hard to come up with cooking. Now, I can tell you a trick. One really cool thing with this keto trend, that's KETO trend, you can just go into Google, type in whatever it is that you're craving, and write keto beside it. And some bodies might have figured out a way to cook it. Excuse me. And that, it might not be exactly the same, but it could be pretty darn close. There is a really good almond flour bread recipe. It's made in a mug in the microwave in 95 seconds because I have a low watt microwave. I can have bread and it tastes like bread. It looks kind of like an English muffin when you slice it. I can put it in the toaster. I added chicken broth to it and some onion. I didn't miss this. I didn't miss the stuffing and stuff like that. So I've gotten a lot of hacks that way. Our local I live where there's a local bakery that makes keto cheesecake, so I'm spoiled rotten with that. If I if I want that, I can just go get it and I have to make it. But most of the things I make, and I have made some cheesecake that was really good, unflavored jello in it. So I've kind of gone on a little rant, but basically, I just wanted to say something to just put out there that if you are fat and you have Crohn's disease, it is completely okay. You're not awful. You do got it, but you know, you're not awful, because I had someone look me in the eye and say to me, "Oh, you don't have Crohn's because you're fat." I do have Crohn's. I'm gonna have it forever unless somebody makes a cure. But I do. I have it, and it's totally manageable with my diet so far. Has been the one thing that's really helped me. Let me know are if you two have Crohn's, or you are overweight and have Crohn's, or you are doing a some sort of diet, and it's working for you. I had a friend who has growth Crohn's and rheumatoid arthritis. Now um I only have rheumatoid. I don't have rheumatoid arthritis. I only have Crohn's, but um but most people, it seems common that they would have both. So this person is is overweight to them, and they have both. And hey, this is exactly what I'm doing. Follow along on Melissa's diet. This is Melissa's diet. You can follow along. Since I didn't have that to give them, the bad problem with that. I think that if they had just tried to do what I'm doing, just kind of following keto sort of, but not trying to do it my own way, because I think that I might have messed my metabolism up a little bit, because I was really losing weight, was really doing well with my diet and everything, and then I kind of went crazy counting carbs and stuff with keto, and I wasn't as happy, and I think that that kind of got my body out of whack. So what I did to counteract that is I went off I went off for like 2 weeks or so, I think, around the holidays, because my grandmother just had a stroke. And I got to thinking, if this is the last time I'm gonna have my mom's food again, like my mom's older as well, you know, my grandmother's food. I should have everything. I just go ahead and try this now, and then have it and get back on. So it was a jump start point. So I've been back on for about 3 days now, and I was lucky because while I was off, I didn't have any horrible side effects or whatever. And that could be because I starved all that stuff so long. And that's the thing about having Crohn's. You don't know. You, I'm sorry. I'm getting messages to make me laugh because I saved this as live because I'm having trouble uploading the video that I made about these real good keto popper things. I don't even know if this stupid thing's gonna go. I really don't know if it'll ever upload, so I just thought I would go ahead and put this video out there because I've been meaning to. I want to write a book, and I think I've been led to write a book because I believe there is a lack of information, and I cried, and I was so depressed, and I had so much anxiety over the Crohn's, and I've struggled with it. And so I feel like me putting my story out there should help somebody else. If it doesn't, I'm sorry I tried. But I'm hopeful that it will help someone. I feel like I should have told the story a long time ago. So I'm sorry that I didn't. And I'm going to get this person that keeps messaging me these things to make me laugh during this video because I'm trying to give a heartfelt thing. And they keep, but you're not supposed to cry on camera, I don't guess. And when I cry, it's ugly cry, so you don't need that. If you go through and you look, I've got a video. Unfortunately, I was trying to promote Close to My Heart in the video, but you can see I am quite a bit bigger in that. You can see how thin my face is. And someday I'll put pictures up. And because I've got pictures now. Because I didn't take photos anytime while it was fat much. I avoided them. I didn't take anything. No selfies or anything. So while I was doing my weight loss journey, I posted lots of pictures. And I got excited about it. And one thing somebody said that's doing just a keto one is to make sure you, weigh and you take. I might not have been my heaviest. I might have been heavier later. I know I wasn't 260 pounds on that picture. That took a bit of time, but the weight just came off, and I failed to say that because I got distracted by the person that sent me those messages. So I really should do another one. Delete this one. That's better, but this is what we have right now. Okay, so got that video, and we're going back in time 2.5 years ago. I'm sitting at work. I get a message from a friend saying, "Hey, I watched this YouTube video and they're talking about Crohn's disease and I think it'll help you." So I watched the video. Like I say, it talks about how diet's really important and everything. I had just bought whole wheat pasta. I got home and I was laughed at in my face because I had just bought this whole wheat pasta, bought a bunch of it because that was easy for me to make was pasta. Dump it in the thing, cook it, good to go. It was easy for me to make potatoes and I lived off of them. So one thing when I first was diagnosed with Crohn's, when I started it, was the fact that I'm now being told to keep the video because of my smile. You know what? I can smile other times. Thank you. Quit interrupting me. See, my cheer. I was talking about something. Oh, they're saying they're gonna be good. I don't believe you, but okay. So, let's think. I lost my train of thought. This happens a lot sometimes. Oh, let me think. Oh, yes. So, I got the whole wheat pasta. Had all that. Just bought all that. I come home and announce I saw this video, and I think it's going to change everything. And I'm all excited about it because to me, I'd been praying. I had been praying for an answer to stop the pain and have a more normal life because I didn't have a normal life. My life was ruled by the Crohn's disease. And I mean, I even had a porta potty that I had made and had in my car with me at all times, or my truck, or wherever I was, because going to the bathroom, I sometimes it would just be such anxiety. Just knowing I had that with me was good. I mean, it's so embarrassing. But yeah, 26 years old, in my early 30s, that's something that was a big deal because it was about I guess it was about 36, I think, when I started the diet. 38 now, but um, it's kind of rough because I didn't do a food journal. I didn't do a diary. Surely would be better for any book or further thing I do, but I didn't. Things are getting easier now, but I want to warn you, when you go to the freezer section and you buy a cauliflower pizza, you buy anything that says it looks like it's vegetable and it looks like it's safe. Okay. And it may even say it's low carb. You have to read the ingredients to see if it has potato starch in it or cornstarch. Because if it has that, it could bother your Crohn's if you've got Crohn's. Or, this might be an autoimmune thing as well. It may not just be Crohn's, but for me, it was Crohn's. And it wasn't, when I started this journey, it had nothing to do with losing weight. But a happy side effect was I lost 20 pounds the first week. I was laughed at and made fun of because I had bought all that low fat, low wheat pasta. You know what I did? Because I had a husband at the time, and he was not on the diet. Never been on the diet. Not ever cooked me anything that I could eat really ever. Just I've been the sole provider of me and my food. I've been cooking, doing this for the whole time. It's been a definite commitment, but it's something very doable. I don't want to sugarcoat it because it has been rough at times, but at the same time, it hasn't been that hard. It hasn't been that difficult, and there is food you can make that's really easy to make. There's more and more and more recipes all the time from people who I can't even imagine coming up with some of these things. Like knowing that almond flour and coconut flour, you mix it together and you can make some magical something or other. I'm going to be trying keto lemon curd. I'm going to make that soon. So I don't know if eventually I'll start by cooking things and put it on here or not. But let me know if that's something that interests you. But I find most of my things on the internet. I don't invent things most of the time. If I did invent it, I would let someone know. But a diet, and this is something that 100% agree with. A doctor said that there is no diet that is a magic cure diet. There's no diet. We're all unique, so it's trial and error. And like I say, you might try this and you may try to do what I'm doing and it may not work for you, but it could work. It might work. You might have to tweak a few things. For me, definitely white potatoes, definitely no. I guess because when I stopped eating those white potatoes, and that was the big thing I stopped doing that first week, boom, lost the 20 pounds, just off. And then I had just lots of weight loss. Really quickly lost 60 pounds. And the cool thing on my diet and staying on the diet and how I felt, I managed not to go into a keto flu, and I think it was because I was sort of following a paleo kind of set too. And the paleo allows you to have sugar, some sugar, but it's not added sugar, it's from fruit. So I was eating dates. I was eating anything that didn't have any added sugar to it. So that I was still losing weight because I wasn't doing the potatoes. I wasn't doing the starch. I wasn't doing the corn. I wasn't eating the things that just go directly to sugar. I was getting sugar in there with the fruits and things I was eating. It wasn't until later that I was like looking at keto. I was like, I eat a lot of fruit, and I backed off. And then, like I said, I think I screwed up my metabolism, but I'm trying to get back on the right track now and seeing how that goes. I weigh 183 pounds right now. I was down to 160, which was awesome because my goal weight was 150, and then I gained and I fluctuated, and I've had some pain in my stomach and stuff from being off the diet, just pain, kind of hurting, solid feeling. I'm still I'm still feeling good. Because I'm not 260 pounds anymore. I myself to this day haven't done as much exercising as I'd like. I do some light walking, but I didn't carry on with the gym or whatever. So I might have saw different results had I done that. I was lucky when I lost the weight, even though it was kind of quickly. I didn't have just hanging skin anywhere. Some people have had that. So I think it was because the way I lost weight, maybe that was it. But, for the most part, everything went fairly well. I did have some points in the 2.5 years where I couldn't eat what I wanted to because I went to England, and England has less sugar than the United States. I but they still have things that have sugar in them. And I was on vacation, and it was very hard to eat on my diet. So I did indulge a little bit in some things, but I pretty much stayed to try to be as low carb as I could. Um, and I did enjoy some things, but I didn't go crazy. And the key thing for me is that if I did eat off plan, then I went right back to it. And in the beginning, I could do that. Like I could go treat myself to a little mini cheesecake and just eat a little. Um, I still managed to do all right because I think there was that whole transition period that I was perfect for the first month. I was doing everything right. I wasn't cheating. I didn't feel like the need to cheat. I was so very determined, and I was so focused on what I was doing, and everything was purposeful, and I just knew in my mind that everything was going to be okay, and that this was what I needed to do, what I was meant to do, and that this was my answer to my prayer that I asked for the pain and all. And so I did have issues sometimes in the beginning of having trouble, and the brain fog did go away eventually. Where you the brain fog is where you feel a bit cloudy headed. You're not able to focus on things. That was talking about how she went keto and all, and how it's changed her and everything. And so I was just thinking, yeah, I still haven't talked about my diet. I had quite a few people that were kind of, um, well, they were like, "Oh, what did you do?" And they wanted to do it, but then they were like, "Oh, I can't do that because it was too hard." But this isn't anything that hard, really. I mean, especially now when you can like Google whatever it is you want and it'll just come up. And it's easy, and that part was easy. But now I did do a little bit of cooking before. I started dieting. There's things now that make it a lot easier to get away with. And yeah, let me know in the comments below if you want to hear anything about certain recipes I like. I'll see if I can like share them or whatever. If you anything you want to know, I haven't been doing any kind of like major exercise, like I say, and I have gained a little bit. I've gained about 20 pounds. Um, and like I said, back and being committed, because it's hard. It's a lifestyle change. What I did was a lifestyle change. You say, but I've talked way over the time I was going to talk. I'm going to try to do a video that is concise and to the point. My lives may not be those. So, but I hope that if you did watch the end, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you in some way. Um, if you're struggling with Crohn's disease, let me know. I'm there for you. And because, I believe, well, for one thing, I didn't mention this. When I was done, went to high school with, and I was able to chat and get information with them. And it kind of made me feel better because that person, Crohn's was a lot worse than mine. Theirs was not managed well. They did have to go on Humira. They have had to have a lot of surgeries. I was very fortunate in what I've had. And the fact that I could get into remission, they couldn't get in remission on their own. So, um, my Crohn's was a lot better for that point. But there was points where they didn't know if I was going to make it or not. And that last surgery was a big deal. So, of course, I didn't know anything about the diet for about 2 years, 2.5 years, maybe after that last surgery in 2013. Um, and it was just a random YouTube video. So, until I have the time to, like, I feel like I need to write a book and just share it, like, maybe, like, I think the more information you can get out there, the better that someone might actually get to see it. Um, until I can do that, I just thought I'd do this video, and hopefully I'll do a video that's shorter for people who don't have 40 minutes to get to the end. But thank you for watching. Have a good day. Now it's not turning off. Yay.